Today, I'm going to show you how to use AI to write long-form content in minutes. But before that, here's what you're not going to do. See, most marketers give some vague prompt and have the AI generate a script. This might work for short form since you're dealing with less content, but this will never work for long form, especially for deep content like middle or bottom of funnel copy. They don't add enough context to the AI and let it guess way too much, which is why it's so generic. You need to give the AI enough relevant context. Outputs instantly improve once you give it your brand voice, your ICP, the purpose of the script, the awareness of the target audience, etc. So here's how you can leverage context and prompt engineering to actually craft better copy. Now, before I get started, I just want to make this clear. You should never completely rely on AI for creative work. It doesn't have creativity, taste, or experience. It literally just makes answers based off of probability. So you should not go into this blind and just have AI make a script from scratch. You need to understand the product and ICP already. Also, you should have a general idea of what the copy is for and what beliefs it aims at shifting. Have the unique mechanism, argument, core customer beliefs, etc. all down before starting. Now, this process basically has three main steps. First, we're going to gather context about the business. Second, we're going to find a long-form, middle or bottom of funnel piece and use AI to reverse engineer it. And only then are we going to have Claude start generating the script. Alright, now before we do anything, we need to add context with context profiles. If you're new to this whole process, I have the free guide on how to make context profiles in my description. But this time, we're going to actually make two more context profiles. The schemas for this are in my WAP community. So we're going to make one for our brand voice and another for the offer positioning. Since this is just the demo, I'm just going to have AI fill these in for me, but you will want to go through this via an interview. Alright, now we have all our context ready. I'm going to find a long-form content piece for this so we can reverse engineer it. Remember, when we're doing this, we're not trying to copy what they're doing. All we're going to do is analyze what is working, why, and try to weave that into our copy. Alright, I found this one. I'm just going to capture this entire page as a PDF. Now I'm going to add all my relevant context files into this Claude project, as well as the PDF. And if you want, you can toss in that research document from the context guide to get some raw quotes from your ICP. Now, I'm going to paste this analysis prompt that has Claude analyze the article we swiped for winning elements. And it's going to ask me some questions to get a better idea of what to analyze. But yeah, it literally breaks down the entire article for sales tactics used, psychological triggers, etc., and gives ideas on how we can replicate it. Now, after it outputs this JSON file, you can save it if you want, but I'm just going to paste the script writing prompt in. By the way, boys, all the prompts and schemas can be found in my WAP community in the description. So now it's going to interview us to gather some context. Just going to answer these randomly, and what it will do is generate each section of the script one by one, so we can make changes as we go. And this hook is decent. I'm just going to ask it to remove that rhetorical question, and also just output the script section from now on. Alright, looks good to me now. I'm going to tell it to move on. Sheesh! This body is fire. It just one-shotted that. Let's see how the CTA looks. And that looks amazing as well. I'm going to confirm. And there you go, boys. It literally just generated this entire script for us. And this can easily be repurposed into blogs, videos, threads, and short-form content. I talk more about this in my Claude Hive Mind video. You can run paid traffic to this as well by whipping up a static ad with Nano Banana and a similar method to what we covered and start printing. Most people are using the new Claude Sonnet 4.5 model wrong. I'm going to show you this absolutely broken cheat code that lets you use it to build a fully automated content repurposing machine in just a few minutes. This works by leveraging Claude Flow and Claude Code Sonnet 4.5. Flow has a hive mind feature that basically works similarly to worker bees and the queen in a bee colony. Claude acts as the queen for your task and orchestrates tasks to worker bees or smaller agents that work on different tasks at the same time. In this scenario, Claude orchestrates the worker agents repurposing our YouTube script into different platforms, where each of them work on a different platform. And because of Claude Code, this all happens inside your computer, which makes referencing files way easier. So here's how you get started. First, get Claude Code. Now, to install it, go to your project path and paste this line in from their website. That's it. If you want to run it, just go to whatever project path you want to use it on and type Claude, but we won't be starting it up yet. Next, we're going to get Hive Mind. All you need to do to set this up is to paste this line from their repository into your terminal. Now paste this line to set up hive mind. Go to collective memory, then import memory, then just hit general. Now we're going to load in our context profiles to add context about our business and target audience. If you're new to this whole process, I have the free guide on how to make context profiles in my description. Now we're just going to paste them all in one by one. And by the way, to save this editor, just type :WQ and it should save and exit. If it still doesn't let you, try pressing escape and then typing it. Now, before we do anything, we need to start engineering a prompt the workers can use. But don't worry, I did all the heavy lifting. You can find all the prompts in the description. What you're going to do is go to your project directory, make a new folder, name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it prompts. Now we're going to make text files for each platform and paste the corresponding prompt for each file. Also add your YouTube script as a text file here. Okay, now we're going to start the swarm. Run the same command as before to set up hive mind. Now click Set Up Swarm. Now tell it to just refer to the prompts in your prompt folder. Name it whatever you want. Next, pick the roles for each worker. Boom! Within a few minutes, it orchestrated the entire content creation process. And as you can see, it repurposed the videos into a blog, newsletter, 5 reel scripts, a LinkedIn post, and even a Twitter thread, all in a few minutes. So Notion are rolling out their new AI agent feature. But here's a private and free alternative you can use instead to get specific context-driven AI outputs that are guaranteed to save you time when marketing. All you need is Gemini command line interface and Obsidian. So Gemini CLI is basically just letting Gemini have access to the files on your computer. You talk to it through your terminal and you can have it search the web and read, edit, or make files. Gemini is great for this because it has a massive context window. And Obsidian is just a note editor that stores the notes directly on your computer. It's free and great because all your files are private. So here's how you can get Gemini CLI. Just go onto this GitHub repository and paste this one line in your terminal. Make sure you have node.js installed though. And that's it. You can now talk to Gemini in your terminal and reference files by using @ and directing it to the file path. Now, here's how I made an SOP for a demo affiliate channel called DevFunnels. But before that, if you want good outputs, you need to add context. Don't expect to get good outputs that help if the AI doesn't know anything about your business. If you're new to this whole process, I have the free guide on how to make context profiles in my description. So I added the context profiles for DevFunnels into the folder. The schemas for all of this are in my WAP community. Now I just made a prompt that briefly defines what the SOP should have. And to make an SOP based off of it using the context profiles. And boom, it literally made an SOP file on my computer for the entire channel. Now, here's how you can use the context profiles and SOP to create a detailed content calendar in just a few minutes. I'm going to paste this prompt into Gemini that has Gemini look at the context profiles in the folder. Based on the context, finds keywords it can use to start researching. This is important. Otherwise, it'll come up with keywords that don't get results. Then it summarizes it all in a markdown table that I can see in Obsidian. It just has the video title and a brief description of it. Now I'm going to ask Gemini to take the first 3 videos on the table and make a subpage with a larger description on how to make it. I can now turn this into a content calendar with a markdown table that has the video title, upload date, and completion status. You can even have Gemini code a better interactive website for your content calendars that you can host on your computer. Doing customer research and building a landing page, quiz funnel, and hooks used to take weeks. But what if you could do it in an afternoon? I just found this cheat code that lets you use 2 free AIs to build out your entire marketing funnel in a fraction of the time. The way this works is by using the AI inside your command line. Copilot and Gemini CLI allow the AIs to work directly on your computer. This means it can read, make, delete, and edit files on your computer. With your permission, of course. This makes adding context and content creation much faster because everything is in one place. Now, we're going to be using Obsidian to store the files. And as of now, Copilot is completely free. It's actually Claude Sonnet 4 under the hood, which is cracked at copywriting. Gemini is also free and can handle 1 million tokens. The free tier is very generous and a lot of the times you won't need to even switch. We're going to be using it for research and analysis. So if you want to get Copilot, just paste the command into your terminal. And if you want Gemini, just copy this one line from their GitHub repository. Open 2 terminals on your computer. On both, change your file path onto your Obsidian Vault, and then type Copilot on one of the terminals. Gemini should have started after running the command earlier. And boom, you have access to both LLMs on your computer. But here is where most marketers mess up. They start prompting an AI without giving it enough context about their business, product, and traffic channel. Most of the time, the reason your AI outputs suck is because you're not adding enough context. If you're new to the channel, I just add context with context profiles, which are just JSON files. If you want a free guide on how to do it, just click the link in the description. So I added all my context profiles into the Obsidian Vault. I'm just going to paste this prompt into Gemini that I found on Twitter. It basically has it search Reddit for pains my target audience are complaining about. In this demo, my ICP are senior developers that are trying to make info, product, and funnels. And yeah, you can see it is able to do a Google search and access Reddit. This is really important because it grabs direct quotes we can use in the rest of our copywriting, like for the landing page, hooks, etc. I also told Gemini to store all of this in a markdown file. And there we go. We got a list of real quotes from Reddit from our target audience complaining about problems. Now, for the landing page, I just found a high-performing one online and had Claude analyze it for winning elements. I put the analysis in a JSON file in the folder. Now, I'm going to paste this prompt into Copilot because it's better at writing copy, and have it make a landing page by referencing the JSON analysis. And boom, it made copy for my landing page in just a few minutes. By the way, I recommend that you write the structure of the landing page yourself because AI is not very creative. But this is just a demo. Next, I'm going to have Copilot reference my landing page and research doc and have it generate some questions for a quiz funnel I can add. Alright, Copilot is done. Just going to add a few words here to make it seem more like a question. We can also have Copilot make some punch in the gut or PIG hooks for us by grabbing raw quotes from the research doc. And there you go. In just a few minutes, it generated some pretty good hooks as well. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you want more source, join my Telegram in the description. Peace.